This is Amanda Nover. She is recounting how her husband of 14 months abused her, but she's holding back the whole truth. Amanda's confession revealed a shocking and callous crime. Deepest sympathies to the family and loved ones of the victims in this case, James and Michelle Butler. James Butler was a U.S. Navy veteran who served his country for 21 years. He worked as an air traffic controller on the USS Enterprise, a carrier based in Virginia at Naval Station Norfolk, the largest naval complex in the world. James had been decorated with 10 medals and awards of achievement. He had a big life for a baby that started out small. He weighed just 2 pounds when he was born in 1970. In 2010, James retired from the Navy and moved back to his hometown of Rumney, New Hampshire, to spend time with his mother, who was battling cancer. He would take her out to play darts. On one of their outings, Cupid's arrow struck James. He met Michelle, and it was love at first sight. They dated for 5 years and married in 2015. 3 years later, James and Michelle decided to make their shared dream come true. They moved into a trailer and hit the road with their 3 cats, Gizmo, Moana, and Chloe. Even though they were on the move, the Butlers kept in touch faithfully with their loved ones. They had 5 adult children from previous relationships. Michelle had 3 sons, and James had a son and a daughter. In mid-October of 2019, James and Michelle arrived on Padre Island, Texas. Michelle posted this update to her Facebook page on October the 15th to announce their arrival. They were planning to head to New Orleans next and then on to Fort Lauderdale, where they would be managing a Christmas tree farm. Padre Island is the longest barrier island on Earth. It attracts vacationers to miles of white sandy beaches on a relatively undeveloped coastline known for its natural beauty and rich ecosystems. The Butlers set up camp at a desolate spot on the beach known as The Bowl, about 3 miles south of Bob Hall Pier. The site is called The Bowl because over time waves have carved a depression into the sand dunes. James took this photo of Michelle enjoying their view of the ocean. It was one of the last happy moments they would enjoy before terror struck. James and Michelle couldn't have known that Padre Island would be their final stop. They were about to cross paths with another married couple on a radically different journey. On the afternoon of October the 16th, Michelle Butler sent a text to a friend. That was the last time anyone heard from the Butlers. Their kids started getting worried when FaceTime calls went unanswered. A week later, on October the 23rd, they filed a missing persons report with the Clayburgh County Sheriff's Office. Police pinged the Butlers' phones and learned that they never left the Bowl. They started searching the beach for signs of a burial site. On October the 27th, police found a bra in the sand. When they looked closer, they saw a rib bone poking up. They began to dig and unearthed the body of Michelle in a shallow grave in the sand near their last known campsite. The following day, they found James nearby. Investigators caught a break when they learned that a security camera at a toll booth at the Mexican border had captured an image on October the 21st of an unidentified man and woman in the Butlers' 2018 silver Chevrolet 4-door pickup truck towing their Cedar Creek trailer. They were in Eagle Pass, Texas, and had crossed the border into Piedras Negras, Mexico. The fugitives had a week-long head start on law enforcement. They fled deep into Mexico, driving more than 700 miles to the state of Jalisco. They planned to keep heading south and eventually disappear into South America. Knowing they needed to act fast, Clayburgh County Sheriff's Office leaked the security camera photo of the couple on the run to the Associated Press newswire, hoping it would be picked up by Mexican media outlets. And it was. When the man in the surveillance photo attempted to sell the Butlers' trailer to the owner of an RV park, he recognized him and contacted law enforcement. Sheriff Kirkpatrick reached out to several colleagues from the U.S. Marshals Service, who he had known for years, and made an urgent request. He said, "Hey, I need a favor. I know where this individual is and I need him captured, and I don't care what you gotta do to do it. I don't care how you do it. I just want him back in our custody." The U.S. Marshals did not hesitate to act. They had a team standing by in Guadalajara, the capital city of Jalisco, and they told the sheriff they would get him back in a couple of hours. It wasn't long before Sheriff Kirkpatrick's phone had a message alert. He opened it, and the only thing he saw was a photo of Adam Williams, handcuffed, lying on the floor of the trailer. The sheriff was elated. He called it an unbelievable feeling. The marshals had raided the RV park and had caught the couple by surprise. They took them into custody without incident. The peaceful capture of Adam Curtis Williams and Amanda Louise Nover was even more critical because they weren't traveling alone. Amanda's 3-year-old daughter from a previous marriage was with them. Adam was separated from Amanda and her child, and they were all flown back to Houston. After landing in the U.S., Adam was transported to Clayburgh County in the back of a police car. It was a 4.5-hour ride. Adam was under heavy guard and considered extremely dangerous. Although he had no qualms about inflicting extreme pain on others, he felt entitled to complain that his handcuffs were uncomfortable. It was close to 4 a.m. on November the 7th when Adam was finally processed into the Clayburgh County Jail. Despite the early hour, the media were there to question him. 33-year-old Adam Williams is a seasoned career criminal with a long rap sheet. So when the Rangers tried to interrogate him, he knew enough to lawyer up and keep his mouth shut. But he did take notice when Texas Ranger Edward Groves mentioned capital murder. Unlike Adam, Amanda Nover was willing to cooperate and speak with the investigators without a lawyer present. Texas Ranger Edward Groves spent 2.5 hours interviewing her. She shed light on the sequence of events that led up to the double murder of the Butlers. Ranger Groves began the interview by asking 32-year-old Amanda how she first met Adam Williams. Their relationship had begun earlier that same year in February, when they were both living in Logan, Utah. Amanda called Adam extremely rough around the edges, but insisted that he had a sweet side. She viewed him as a man with a troubled past trying to do better, someone who wanted to be a better dad to her daughter. So she made him a deal. His home only had 1 bedroom. If they could find a way for her daughter to have a bedroom at his place, she would move in with him. When he put up walls in the basement to create a room, she kept her part of the bargain. More than anything, Amanda wanted to stay home with her daughter. Adam said he was willing to take care of Amanda and her daughter financially. When they met, Adam was working at a chicken wings restaurant. The next day, he took a job at a bakery. Then he landed an even better job. But their relationship was turbulent. Adam behaved violently towards Amanda many times, and Amanda's dog Bella just couldn't stand by watching. She would attack Adam when he beat her. Amanda detailed some of these violent incidents to Ranger Groves. Some of what she told him was too graphic for us to share here. When Adam realized the heat was closing in on him in Utah, he decided to take his new family on the lam rather than returning to prison. He traded Amanda's van for a 1999 Chevrolet pickup truck and a 1974 Prowler trailer. They drove to Spokane, Washington to stay with Adam's uncle. Adam intended to be there for a while, so he started building an apartment in his uncle's garage. But when the two men got into a heated argument, the uncle told him to leave because he was scared of Adam's temper. By now, money was running out. Adam and Amanda had decided to head for Texas in hopes that Adam could pick up work under the table working at an oil rig. After 2 weeks had passed on Padre Island, Adam and Amanda were told by an officer patrolling the beach that they had overstayed their welcome. Their free 2-week camping term had ended, and it was time for them to move on. But the engine on their 20-year-old pickup truck was dying, and the tension was mounting between the newlyweds. It got so bad that Amanda went on a walk with her daughter one afternoon She made an attempt to escape her predicament. Just as Adam and Amanda were trying to figure out their next move, James and Michelle arrived on Padre Island and set up camp. They had unwittingly driven directly into the eye of another kind of storm that had nothing to do with the weather. Rather, it was Adam Williams' dangerous and desperate drive to survive no matter what the cost to someone else. Adam decided he needed a weapon. He wasn't allowed to own a gun because he was a felon, but that didn't stop him from finding a way to get one. At first, Amanda told the police that she didn't know anything about the 9mm pistol he used to shoot the Butlers in their heads. But then she came clean. After the couple arrived in Texas, they had attended a gun show in Corpus Christi. Every seller turned them down because Amanda had an out-of-state ID until they got to the last person at the venue. He agreed to sell them a gun and ammunition. Now that Ranger Groves had gathered background information from Amanda on how she had met Adam Williams and had covered the sequence of events that led them to Texas, he pressed her to recount the details of the crime. That night, they went back to the beach. Adam told Amanda to wait nearby their vehicle while he went to get the truck and trailer that he had chosen to be their home for the next leg of their journey. They returned to the 24-hour laundromat where they had been loitering when they had nowhere else to go. Amanda drove the truck and trailer while Adam drove the butler's rig. When they arrived, Amanda noticed that Adam's mood had changed. He was upbeat and kept urging her to cheer up because their situation had improved. At the laundromat, they removed James and Michelle's belongings from the trailer. They took their clothes inside and put them into washing machines and closed the doors, but didn't turn them on. They tossed the rest of the butler's stuff into a dumpster behind the laundromat. The only cat still left in the trailer ran out and disappeared. It's not known what happened to the cat or the other two that had been traveling with the butlers. Adam and Amanda abandoned their own broken-down truck and dilapidated trailer in the laundromat's parking lot and drove off. Amanda had already provided Texas Ranger Groves with a lot of information up to this point in the interview. She was talkative, but it didn't escape his attention that she had skipped over the most important part of the story. What had happened to the butlers? After a cigarette break, Amanda laid out in more disturbing detail what had happened on the beach leading up to Adam stealing the butler's truck and trailer. Now the situation had darkened for Amanda. She was no longer just accompanying a fugitive on parole who went on the run to escape warrants. She had become an accomplice to two ruthless murders. Texas Ranger Groves wanted to know what had happened in the aftermath. It's interesting to note that although Adam was willing to take whatever he wanted from other people without any remorse, he wasn't so freewheeling when it came to others taking from him. In this jailhouse surveillance footage following his arrest, his temper flared as he yelled at another inmate over $27 apparently owed to him for commissary purchases. After arresting Adam and Amanda, investigators found the 9mm pistol used to kill the Butlers hidden in the RV. The ammunition was hidden in the ceiling. They also found bloodstains inside the trailer that matched Michelle Butler. Prosecutors were initially planning on seeking the death penalty for Adam Williams, but they offered him a deal. In November of 2021, he pled guilty to capital murder, tampering with evidence, unlawful use of a firearm by a felon, and theft. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. As soon as Adam Williams was convicted, Clayburgh County Sheriff Kirkpatrick called the governor's office and the Texas Bureau of Prisons, imploring them to get him out of the Clayburgh County Jail immediately. He wanted Adam moved to a high-security prison before he could hurt someone else. The sheriff had spent many sleepless nights worrying that Adam was going to kill one of his guards. Just a few days after being sentenced, the sheriff got his wish and Adam was relocated. In February of 2022, Amanda Nover Williams pled guilty to 2 counts of first-degree murder, tampering with evidence, unlawful possession of a firearm, and theft. She was sentenced to 20 years for the murders, 10 years each for the other charges. Because the sentences are running concurrently, her total sentence is 20 years. Amanda's lack of a significant criminal history and the fact that she didn't pull the trigger were cited by prosecutors as factors that weighed into the decision for a shorter sentence.